Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This video is in continuation to the first one, while we discussed the first 4 lessons from Al-Qira'at-ul-Waadihah part 1st. In the present video, we go further and discuss the lessons 5 and 6 from the book, that is Al-Qira'at-ul-Waadihah part 1st. Before we start these 2 lessons, we have to learn about Al-Huruf al-Shamsiyah, that is sun letters, and Al-Huruf al-Qamariyah, that is moon letters. This discussion is actually connected with the 3rd lesson, where we learned about the Marifa ism, that is definite noun, but we could not discuss this issue there. When we change ism nakira or indefinite ism or indefinite noun to a marifa by using the definite article al, alif lam, so we have to keep in mind that if the noun to which we are prefixing al, that is alif lam, the definite article, if that noun begins with one of the following 14 letters, these letters are ta, sa, dal, zal, ra, za, sin, sheen, sad, dad, ta, za, lam, and noon. So in that case, the lam of the definite article al, alif lam, is assimilated and therefore not pronounced, and the respective above mentioned letters is doubled, that is, it takes shadda, it becomes mushaddad. So we have some examples here. You can see in this table that is given on the screen. In the first column we have examples of nakira, and in the middle column or in the second column we have examples of marifa, and then in the third one we have given the translation or the meaning of these nouns. So looking at the first column, we can see that these examples, we have 4 examples here. All these 4 examples or these 4 nouns begin with huruf shamsiyah. So number 1 is sadiqun, number 2 is rajulun, then number 3 is talibun, and the last one here is shamsun. When we change them to marifa by prefixing alif lam, so you can see in the second column what happens. So in pronunciation we have to drop lam, so we are not going to pronounce lam here, so we directly say as-sadiqu without pronouncing lam, and then ar-rajulu, and then at-talibu, and then ash-shamsu. So lam has been assimilated and the first letter of that noun got the shadda. Although if there is no shadda written on the first letter, so we have to read it as if there is a shadda. Meaning is you can see in the third column. So these 14 letters, that is starting from ta up to noon, are known as al-huruf al-shamsiyah, or the sun or solar letters. There are another set of 14 letters that are known as al-huruf al-qamariyah, or moon letters or lunar letters. In case of these moon letters, the lam of the definite article al, alif lam, is always pronounced, which you can see from the table in which we have given 4 examples. In the same way, you can see in the first column, you can see the examples of nakira. Then we have prefixed alif lam to them to make them definite or marifa, and in the third column you can see the meanings of these 4 nouns. The first one is babun, second is khubzun, then waladun and qamar. So when we prefix alif lam or the definite article to them, you can see that lam is always pronounced. So we say al-babu, al-khubzu, al-waladu and al-qamaru. Both sets of these letters are given in 2 tables which you can see on the screen. One set of 14 letters is known as the huruf shamsiyya, and the second one is huruful qamariyya. This is the table of al-huruf ash-shamsiyya. So you can see on the screen 14 letters. This is the table of al-huruf al-qamariyya, that is moon letters. 14 letters are included in this table. Here we should also know that there are 2 types of sentences in Arabic. One is called al-jumlatul ismiyya, that is nominal sentence, and the second is known as al-jumlatul fi'liyya, that is verbal sentence. Nominal sentence is that which begins with a noun, wherein you will find noun in the beginning. Verbal sentence begins with a verb. But here we will discuss only nominal sentences. Nominal sentence has 2 major components. One is called mubtada, that is subject, and the second component is called khabar, that is predicate. The mubtada or the subject is that about which some information is given in the other part of the sentence, and khabar or the predicate is that component which gives information about the mubtada. Now coming to the word order of the nominal sentence. Normal or the general word order of nominal sentence is that the mubtada comes first and then comes the khabar. So the first place is for the mubtada and the second place is for the khabar. So this is the word order of the nominal sentence. At the front or at the first place, you will see the mubtada followed by khabar or predicate. I can give an example here. For example, al-muallimu jalisun. This is a nominal sentence and it is translated as the teacher is sitting. So in this sentence, al-muallimu, which is in the front of the sentence, which is at the first place, it is known as mubtada. Then the second word, that is jalisun, it is khabar or predicate. This is the same rule or this is the same word order as we find in English grammar. In case of the nominal sentences, I can give a couple of examples of English sentences For example, bad habits grow unconsciously. The earth revolves round the sun. However, in some situations, this word order may change. For example, fil fasli waladun. The translation of this sentence is, there is a boy in the class. But the word order has been changed here. So here, fil fasli, that is the prepositional phrase, is khabar muqaddam. This is actually the predicate, and waladun is mubtada muakhar. So you can see that the word order has been changed here. Khabar has been brought in the front and mubtada has been deferred to the second place. It has a reason which we are going to discuss shortly in this lesson. This happens in English language as well. I can give a couple of examples of this type as well. Sweet, or the uses of adversity. Here comes the bus. So the uses of adversity and the bus in the second sentence, you can very easily understand that in these two English examples or English sentences, the subject has been deferred to the second place, while the predicate has been brought to the front. Though here it may seem a little bit confusing, but the things will become clearer as we go further, inshallah. We have some other constructions, or we can say combinations of words which do not give complete sense as that of a sentence. These constructions or these combinations are of four types. Each of these constructions is called murakkab naqis, incomplete sentence. In Arabic and in English, these are known as phrases. Here we learn one type of these phrases, and that is the prepositional phrase, which is made up of a preposition and the object of the preposition. In Arabic, this construction is, or this combination is known as, or it is called as shibhul jumla, or we can say jar and majroor. For example, fil fasli, in the class, alal maktabi, on the table, lil waladi, for the boy, etc. We should also remember that the noun following any preposition is always in genitive case, which we call as majroor in Arabic, which normally appears in the form of kasra at the last letter of that noun, which is preceded by preposition. So that is why we see, for example, in these examples which we quoted above, fil fasli, al maktabi, lil waladi, that the last letter has a kasra, fil fasli and alal maktabi. All these nouns are majroor. Other examples of jar and majroor or this prepositional phrase or shibhul jumla we can see in the text of this lesson. We have learned about that in a nominal sentence, the word order is that the mubtada comes first, then comes the khabar. So in the beginning we have mubtada, and at the second place we have khabar. But if the noun we are going to use in the sentence as mubtada is a nakira one, is indefinite, and the khabar is prepositional phrase. In that case, the word order of the sentence will change. So we cannot say, for example, rajulun fid dar, because the word we are using here in the beginning is a nakira, and as a general rule we cannot use nakira in the beginning of a nominal sentence, because the general rule says that a nominal sentence should begin with a marifa ism or with a definite ism. So here we have to say fiddari rajulun, there is a man in the house. Now let us compare. Ar-rajulu fil masjidi, the man is in the masjid. This word order is 100% correct because this is a nominal sentence and the noun used in the beginning is marifa, is definite, which is the demand of the general rule. Now let us look at another example. Fil masjidi rajulun, there is a man in the masjid. Here we have changed the word order because the noun at hand, which is to be used as mubtada, is a nakira one, is indefinite, and we cannot put nakira in the front of nominal sentence. That's why we changed the word order. There is the difference in the meanings of these two sentences as well, which we can see from the translations of these two sentences. Further explanation of this issue will be given during the translation of the text of this lesson. Now we are going to read the sentences given in the text of these lessons, lesson number 5 and lesson number 6, and we'll try to translate them in English. Before that, we have to memorize the meaning of the new words or the difficult words used in these two lessons, which we have given in two tables that are visible on the screen. These are the two tables containing the new words used in these two lessons.
This is the fifth lesson, Ad-Darsul Khamis. It begins with prepositional phrases. At first here we have fil fasli. It is prepositional phrase made up of fi preposition or harful jar and al-fasl, that is the object of the proposition, or in Arabic we say majroor. This combination or this construction is known as shibhul jumla or jar wa majroor in Arabic. Jar or harful jar is proposition like fi, ala, min, li, etc. And majroor is the object of respective propositions. This combination is not a complete sentence. It is a combination of two or more words with incomplete sense. It does not give complete meaning or complete sense as that of a sentence. Therefore, we need some more words, one or more than one, to use with these propositional phrases or with these shibhul jumla to make complete sentences. Here we read the meaning of these propositional phrases, these jar wa majroor, and then use them in the sentences, which we can see from the fourth line of this chapter. Now, fil fasli means in the class. Fi means in, al-fasl means the classroom. Fil fasli means in the classroom. Fil hujrati in the chamber, in the room. Fil bayti in the house. Fil masjidi in the masjid. It is necessary to note that the noun following any proposition, that is following any harful jar, will be in genitive case, which normally appears in the form of kasra at the end of that noun. That's why we see kasra at the end of all these nouns here. So we have fil fasli at the end, the last letter of al-fasl is maksur, having kasra. So because it is majroor, because it is the object of the proposition. Fil hujrati, again the last letter of hujrah is maksur, it has kasra. So it is because it is preceded by harfu jar fi. Fil bayti, again you see al bayt, this is maksur or majroor. Fil masjidi, again we see al masjid is majroor, and that's why it has kasra at the last letter. Otherwise, if there were no prepositions attached to these nouns, we would have read them as al faslu, al hujratu, al baytu, al masjidu with dhamma. So now we have harfu jar li, lam, maksur, li. So lil waladi is the combination of lam harfu jar and al walad, and this combination can be translated in two ways: for the boy or belongs to the boy. Lil waladi, for the boy or belongs to the boy. Litilmizi, for the student or belongs to the student. Lil mudarrisi, for the teacher or belongs to the teacher. Lil rajuli, for the man or belongs to the man. Here again, one important thing is to be noted, that lil waladi is actually the combination of harfu jar li, la maksur li, and al waladu, which is a definite noun or ism marifa. But here the hamzatul wasl is dropped and harfu jar li is directly connected to lam or lam tarif of the noun al walad, and the final form comes as lil waladi. So hamzatul wasl in all these four examples is dropped, and lam harfu jar is connected with the lam tarif of that noun. Then in the third line we have three more prepositional phrases where harfu jar or preposition is ala. Ala means on. So this is alal kursi or alal kursi, because the last letter ya is mushaddad, as well as it is maksur, because al kursi as a whole is majroor because of the presence of ala harfu jar in the beginning. So alal kursi, alan nafizati, on the window, alal maktabi, on the table. Now we use these prepositional phrases or these shibhul jimla or these jar wa majroor in the sentences. The first sentence is fil fasli tilmizun. Its translation is there is a student in the class, or it can be translated as a student is in the class. Fil fasli tilmizun. Note that tilmizun is nakira. So that's why we translated it in both these translations as a student. There is a student in the class. A student is in the class. So this sentence can be used, this type of sentences, those which are given in this first line and then in the third one. This type of sentences can be used in the situation. For example, a person knows the class. That is, class is definite, marifa to him. But he does not know who is there in the classroom. So that means that person is indefinite to him. So he asks who is in the classroom. Man fil fasli. The answer to this type of question will be like this. Fil fasli tilmizun. There is a student in the classroom. So al fasl is definite and tilmizun is indefinite in this sentence. Why we have changed the original position of mubtada. So originally the position or the place of mubtada is that it should come first, then should come its khabar. But since it is nakira, that's why we have of mubtada and khabar. Here we say fil fasli both in joint form. Fil fasli is a prepositional phrase and this is actually khabar. So it is a technical name is khabar muqaddam. And tilmizun, this is actually mubtada, but since it is nakira, we have deferred it, we have changed its place, and since we cannot put nakira in the front of nominal sentence, so we say this is mubtada muakhar. The other sentences of this pattern can be understood likewise in the same way. Fil fasli tilmizun alal kursiyyi waladun alal nafizati sitaratun. Then we come to the next line where we have other sentences, but in these sentences we see the first word, the first noun, that is the mubtada, is marifa, it is definite noun. That's why we have kept it at its original place, the first place, in the front of the sentence. So we say at-tilmizu fil fasli. The student is in the classroom. Al-waladu alal kursiy. The boy is on the chair, or if it is armchair, we can say the boy is in the chair. As-sitaratu alan nafizati. The curtain is on the window. This type of sentences can be used in a situation. For example, when a person knows the student, that is, the student is definite to him, marifa, but he does not know where he is. So he asks, for example, he asks, where is the student? Aina tilmizu. Aina tilmizu. And he uses at-tilmiz as marifa because he knows the student. The answer to this type of question will be, for example, the student is in the class. At-tilmizu fil fasl. Here both the student and the class are definite nouns, marifa, ism. And there is no need to change the position or the place of mubtada and khabar. Other sentences like al-waladu alal kursiyi, as-sitaratu alal nafizati, or this one al-kitabu lit-tilmizi al-qalamu lil-mudarrisi can be understood likewise in the same way. Then we have the harfu jar li here. Lit-tilmizi kitabun. The student has a book. Lil mudarrisi qalamun. The teacher has a pen, or a pen is for the teacher. Lil masjidi babun. The masjid has a door. Al kitabu lit-tilmizi. The book belongs to the student. Al qalamu lil mudarrisi. The pen belongs to the teacher. Al babu lil masjidi. The door is for the masjid, the door is of the masjid. Then we have muhadasa. Muhadasa means conversation. We have some questions on the right side and then their answers on the left hand side. Aina tilmizu. Where is the student? At tilmizu fil fasli. The student is in the class. Man fil fasli. Who is in the class? Fil fasli tilmizun. There is a student in the classroom. Maza alan nafizati. What thing is on the window? Alan nafizati sitaratun. There is a curtain on the window. Aina sitaratu. Where is the curtain? As sitaratu alan nafizati. The curtain is on the window. Maza alal maktabi. What thing or what is on the table? Alal maktabi kitabun wa qalamun wa dawatun. This waw is known as waw atuf and it means and. There is a book, a pen and an ink pot on the table. Hal lil waladi kurrasatun. Has the boy a notebook? Does a notebook belong to the boy? Nam lil waladi kurrasatun. Yes, the boy has a notebook. Halil kurrasatu lil waladi. Is the notebook for the boy? Does the notebook belong to the boy? Nam. Yes, al kurrasatu lil waladi. The notebook belongs to the boy. Now here we have to solve some exercises, some tamareen. This is tamreen number 1, exercise number 1. Imla al-faraq. Imla il-faraq means fill in the blanks. These are some sentences, but only one word is given here. For example, here in the first one, we have only one word, that is pronoun ana, personal pronoun, and then the second word is not given. Here is a blank place. We have to bring any word from our memory which is suitable to be put here, and so that this sentence becomes complete. Although here we can see words are given, so it is very easy for us to select any one from these given words and use them in the blank places to complete the sentences. But we can also use words from our own vocabulary, from our own memory. In the first one, we can put, for example, sagirun. So we can say ana sagirun. I am small, I am young. In the first line, you can see that these words, these given words all are pronouns, and we know that pronoun is by default marifa. That's why these sentences can begin with the pronouns, and the next word, that the second word, which is khabar, that can be nakira. But in the second line, we have the first place empty and the second word is given. That means mubtada is not there. Khabar has been given. Mubtada we have to bring from our own vocabulary or from the words given here. But that should be marifa, because if we are making a nominative sentence or we are making a nominal sentence, that should begin with a marifa and the second word, which is khabar, that is nakira. Here one more thing which we have to keep in our mind while completing these sentences is that there should be conformity with respect to gender between mubtada and khabar. So mubtada and khabar, that is subject and predicate, are in agreement with respect to gender. So here masruratun is muannas, that is feminine. So the first word should be feminine. But if we are using here ana, as we already learned that ana is used for both masculine as well as feminine. But if we are using some other word, should be feminine. So here we can say, for example, Fatimatu masruratun, or al ummu masruratun, or al bintu masruratun. So in the same way, you have to complete all these sentences. See which word is given. If mubtada is given, then you have to bring khabar, and that should be nakira. And if the khabar is given, then you have to bring mubtada, that should be marifa. And here some words are also given, you can use them, as well as you have to see the gender of mubtada or khabar. If the mubtada is muzakkar, then khabar should also be muzakkar. If the mubtada is muannas or feminine, then the khabar should also be feminine. This issue we will discuss in the next lesson as well. Then we have tamreen number 2, imla al faraq. Again, fill in the blanks. Here we have words given, but there's a difference between the first tamreen and the second tamreen. In the first one, we have only two words. The sentence is complete using two words. One is mubtada and the other is khabar. But here we have prepositional phrase as khabar. Fil baiti. For example, here fil baiti. So this is khabar. What should we bring here to make it a complete sentence? At the first place, in the front. So it should be, for example, ar-rajulu, because when fil baiti is at its original place of the mubtada is blank, so we have to bring marifa noun using it as mubtada. And in the second line you can see that this prepositional phrase or this jar majroor is written first, then the second place is blank. So what word we can use here? So it is, because we learned it, so it is easy for us. So we have to bring nakira ism or nakira noun here, because if it were marifa, then the word order of jumla ismiya or nominal sentence would have been normal. So we can understand it. We have to use nakira noun here, because if it would have been marifa, we would have placed it at the front. Then we have tamreen number 3. It is iqra wa tarjam ilal urdiyya. We can also say ilal injiliziyya. That means read these sentences and translate them into English, into Urdu, and also in English. So these are the sentences given here. You have to read them and translate them. So here we have some sentences. Some are complete or some are incomplete. You have to read these combinations and then translate them accordingly. So hazi hil hujratu means this room. This is ismu ishara, and al hujratu is musharun ilay. This combination is known as demonstrative phrase. The combination of ismu ishara and musharun ilay means this room. Then fi hazihil hujrati means in this room. Tilkan nafizatu, that window. Ala tilkan nafizati, on that window. Hazal faslu, this class. Fi hazal fasli, in this class. Zalikal baitu, that house. Fi zalikal baitu. in that house. Hazat tilmizu, this student. Li hazat tilmizi, for this student. Zalikal mudarrisu, that teacher. Li zalikal mudarrisi, for that teacher. Then we have Tamreen 4. Fourth exercise. Maza fil hujrati, man fil fasli, ainal qalam. These are three questions. The answers are given here. Fil hujrati, write any word from your memory, from your vocabulary that suits this blank place. Fil fasli, the question is man fil fasli, who is in the classroom. Answer is given here. Fil fasli, and then is a blank place. You have to put any word here. We also learn here another interrogative word, that is kaifa, which is used for asking condition. Kaifa anta, how are you? Then again we have one word here, ana, that is pronoun, and the second place is not written, it is blank. So you can say ana bi khairin, I am well, I am fine. Now let us move on to lesson number 6. This is ad-darsu sadisu. As-sadisu is the sixth. Ad-darsu sadisu means the sixth lesson. In this lesson, nothing new is to be discussed, except that the sentences used here are a little bit longer than the sentences learned in the previous lessons. One more thing that is focused upon in this lesson is the conformity of the khabar, that is predicate, with the mubtada, that is subject, with respect to gender. That means khabar is in agreement with mubtada with respect to gender. Other things related to mubtada and khabar will be discussed later on during the study of this course, inshallah. So we say al-waladu jalisun, the boy is sitting, and we say al-bintu jalisatun, the girl is sitting. Here in these two sentences we see the difference, that the mubtada al-walad in the first sentence is masculine, it is muzakkar. That is why we bring its khabar as jalisun, again masculine. In the same way, al-bintu, the mubtada in the second sentence is feminine, it is muannas. So that is why we used its khabar also as feminine, that is jalisatun. So with al-waladu we used jalisun without rounded ta, without ta marbuta. And in the second case, where the mubtada is muannas or feminine, we used alisatun as its khabar. Now we learn the translation of the sentences given over here. This is al-waladu jalisun alal kursiy. So we can see that the sentence is a little bit longer as compared to the sentences already learned. So here 4 words are used. Al-waladu jalisun alal kursiy, the boy is sitting on the chair. Huwa masrurun, he is happy. So huwa indicates al-walad, so it is pronoun and it is used in place of noun, that is al-walad. So actually it is al-waladu masrurun. So we don't repeat the noun every time, we just use pronoun after the noun is used at the first instance. So the second sentence is al-bintu jalisatun ala sariri, the girl is sitting on the bed. As-sarir means bed. Hiya masruratun, she is happy. Again this here indicates al-bint. At-tilmizu hazirun fil fasli. The student is present in the class. Huwa nashitun. He is active. He is energetic. He is efficient. At-tilmizatu haziratun fil fasli. The female student is present in the class. Hiya nashitatun. She is active, energetic, or efficient. Al Abu Waqifun fil Baiti. The father is standing in the house. Huwa ghazibun. He is angry. Al Ummu Waqifatun fil Matbakhi. The mother is standing in the kitchen. Hiya mashgulatun. She is busy. So here we can see Waqifun Muzakkar and Waqifatun Muannas. Al Akhu Naimun fil Mahdi. The brother is sleeping in the cradle. Huwa Jawa'anun Ta'banun. He is hungry. He is tired. These words, Jawa'an and Ta'ban, is another set of nouns known as Al-Mamnu min as-Sarf. These nouns do not have tanween at the end. They only accept one dhamma. So the original pronunciation of these words is Jaw'anu, Ta'banu, Kaslanu without tanween. But avoiding any confusion in the very beginning, the author has included these words in the general category of noun here for the easy understanding of the students. It is better to read them without tanween as explained above. So we can say huwa jaw'anu, only one dhamma. Huwa ta'banu. Then another sentence is al-ukhtu na'imatun fil firashi. The sister is sleeping in the bed or in the couch. Hiya ta'banatun. She is tired. Hiya jaw'anatun. She is hungry. Al-mudarrisu raji'un ilal bayti. The teacher is returning to the house. Huwa kaslanu. Again, this word kaslan is to be read with only one zamma. So we read it huwa kaslanu. Means he is lacking energy. He is al bintu zahibatun ilal bayti. The girl is going to the house. Hiya kaslanatun. She is lazy. She is lacking energy. So with muannas we can use tanween, but with muzakkar we cannot. So we can say kaslanatun, ta'banatun, jaw'anatun. But when it is a muzakkar without the rounded ta, we have to use only one dhamma. Then the last one is ar-rajulu zahibun ilal masjidi. The man is going to the mosque, to the masjid. Huwa tahirun, huwa salihun. He is chaste, he is pious. We can also translate tahirun as a person in the state of ablution, because he is going to the masjid, he is tahir, he has had the ablution. He is in the state of ablution. Then at the end we can see here the method by which we form feminine of the adjectives. So this is ghazibun. It is very simple, just to add ta marbuta or rounded ta at the end. The word will become muannas after the application of rounded ta at the end. So this is ghazibun, angry man, ghazibatun, angry woman. So this will be used for male, for masculine, and this will be used for female, or for feminine. In the same way, we have tahirun and its muannas as tahiratun, nashitun, nashitatun, kaslanu, kaslanatun, tabanu, tabanatun, mashgulun, mashgulatun.
Now I would like to close this session here with the hope to meet you very soon in the next video. Shukran lakum wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.